The so-called veteran presence that was supposed to lead the Indiana Fever to greatness, Dewanna Bonner, more like Dana Goner, has officially packed her bags and fled home in tears because she couldn't handle being on a team that truly matters. The WNBA just witnessed one of the most self-centered, childish displays of unprofessionalism we've seen in years. The team announced that they were looking at trade possibilities for the six-time All-Star who hadn't played since June 10th for what they described as, quote, personal reasons. The personal reasons were, well, from what I could tell, playing time is what I knew. This is the story of a player who believes she was entering a cozy retirement community where she could enjoy easy paychecks while enjoying the spotlight of someone else, only to learn that basketball is a sport where you have to fight for your position. Bonner, league sources told the Independent Star, then re-signed Ari McDonald and asked for a trade after breaking the Fever, are waiving Dana Bonner. As we discussed yesterday, she felt she couldn't find a role in the team after being benched, among many other reasons, but Indiana was unable to find a suitable trade option. When Dana Bonner signed a free agent contract with the Indiana Fever in February, she thought she was joining a quiet, pleasant team where she could move into a starting role and coast through another season. Instead, she discovered that the team had been transformed by Caitlin Clark into the most watched, scrutinized, and competitive environment in the W. It seems like she had a Fever exit once, and that is a strange situation because she was embraced during training camp, where they called her Mama Bear for her accomplishments at the beginning of the season, moving up the scoring ranks, and now everything has fallen apart. She was not in the starting lineup and hadn't really produced much, especially on the offensive end, and this, in retrospect, looks bad on the franchise when it comes to its free agent moves. I don't think it reflects well on Dana Bonner, whose absence was for personal reasons, but it now appears that she was simply unhappy with the team and the overall situation, which adds even more drama to what has been a season full of drama for Caitlin Clark in the Indy. The writing was on the wall from day one, but Bonner was too conceited to see it. She began the season's first 3 games with an average of a whopping 2. Her minutes had drastically decreased from the previous season, and she scored 6 points while shooting a dismal 2 of 12 from the field. That is not veteran leadership, rather, it is veteran regression. It's been a serious issue for a long time. Let her go to where she feels she would be the best. What did Coach Stephanie White do? She made the obvious decision that any competent coach would make, benching Bonner in the game because she looks like an older athlete and the team has been lacking energy. If her minutes decline, the amount of production that she can see and the rest of the league can see also drops. Favor of Lexi Hull, a player who genuinely wanted to help the team win basketball but couldn't fit in with the rotation. She's upset that Lexi Hull took her place because, in my opinion, she earned it. She's a good basketball player, and this season she's a sniper, hustles, gets rebounds, steals, and gives every game her all. If you're enjoying, please subscribe and tell me how it went. Our veteran leader reacted to this perfectly reasonable coaching decision like a pampered child who just had her favorite toy taken away. Rather than taking the challenge, working harder, and earning her spot back, Bonner chose to take her ball and go home. She asked for a trade, saying that the fit didn't work out, which is basketball jargon for I can't handle not being the center of attention. Sadly, though, Bonner didn't just quietly ask for a trade. She stopped attending games, citing personal reasons, and left her teammates. For 5 consecutive games, she pouted about her diminished role for personal reasons. The only reason for this is that she felt hurt when she realized she might not be good enough to start on a championship contender, Bonner. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. I'm not telling you to go home, but you need to get out of here. Dana Bonner is out with the old Ari McDonald. Back in with the new Breaking the Fever are waving Dana Bonner, league sources told the Independent Star, who then resigned are, as we discussed yesterday, McDonald Bonner asked for a trade because she felt she couldn't find a position on the team after being benched, among many other reasons. However, Indiana was unable to find a suitable trade option because, first and foremost, Dana Bonner's character was exposed as paper thin the moment she faced genuine adversity. Signed on to be a veteran leader for a young team, but as soon as that team began to receive the kind of attention and pressure that comes with having a generational superstar, she folded like a cheap suit he couldn't handle being on. This is a team that has gone viral and adores Caitlin Clark because she secretly wished to be the star herself. The jealousy is so evident that it's almost embarrassing to watch how a player who spent her entire career in relative obscurity, winning championships with teams that no one cared about, is suddenly thrust into the brightest spotlight in women's basketball. The truth is that Dana Bonner was really hurt. Her ego was bruised and she wanted to cry and walk away. I don't understand that if you're 37 years old making a lot of money for a WNBA player and she missed her boo thing in Phoenix, she would just want to wiggle her way out so she could go to Phoenix, and that's all it was. Instead of embracing the opportunity to be a part of something special, she resented the fact that 17,274 fans weren't there to see her. They were there to see Caitlin Clark. Accept that Lexi Ho is better than you. Accept that she's a role model and contribute as much as you can. That every game sold out, not because of her veteran presence, but because of a 22-year-old rookie who had already done more for women's basketball than Bonner ever will. However, let's talk about the real antagonist in this story, the pressure from the WNBA's so-called old guard. Veteran players have been coasting for years, content with their mediocrity, playing in arenas that were half empty for audiences that were mostly made up of family members and ardent fans. Then Caitlin Clark breaks television records, filling every arena, and everyone wants to know what the WNBA is all about, these bitter veterans refusing to embrace this amazing opportunity because they saw it as a threat to their cozy little world. Long story short, DB believed her role would be one thing. She came in playing awful, got benched, and was upset about it. Shorzy lost her record and dipped, which is kind of crazy. You guys said she had no plans to return because you sucked this season. So she really had to be a double agent dog because she was a career 29% three-point shooter. The old guard refused to accept that someone so young, so talented, and so marketable was making their league relevant for the first time in decades. They couldn't handle that their years of paying dues meant nothing when a rookie could walk in and instantly become the most important player in the sport. They tried to discredit the person who was making them look irrelevant, and Dana Bonner, who should have been the one to do so, because she was shooting 30-footers with us, have served as a link between the old and new WNBA eras, but instead she chose to side with the haters. She acted like a baby when she realized she might not start as much for the Indiana Fever, throwing a tantrum that lasted for weeks and finally led to her leaving her team completely. This is a 37-year-old woman acting like a teenager who didn't make varsity, and anyone with any sense of intuition could see that things were starting to get strange given how much time she had missed, the lack of a return date, and the road trip. The details and the basic mystery would be enough to make anyone's spine tingle, but I'll add that I heard over the weekend that it was more about basketball than anything else. Now, let's look at where our disgraced former Fever player is attempting to force her way to, because the destinations tell you everything you need to know about her character. She is reportedly trying to force a move to the Phoenix Mercury, the team where she spent the first 10 years of her career essentially running back to her comfort zone where she can escape the pressure of actually mattering, possibly heading to the Atlanta Dream, who have Brittany Griner, who is well known for not liking Caitlin Clark. Yes, we all saw the viral moment where Griner allegedly used a slur on Clark after fouling out. These are the players Bonner wants to be around because they have made it clear that they hate everything Caitlin Clark stands for. She is literally choosing to associate herself with the most toxic elements of the WNBA rather than being a part of something positive and transformative. There has been a lot of conjecture surrounding her absence, but the entire situation was just somewhat strange, and Many Fever supporters were worried that she would not return, and today it was revealed that she has no plans to rejoin the Indiana Fever and that her preferred teams are the Atlanta Falcons and the Phoenix Mercury. It has also been reported that she wanted to leave because she felt that things weren't right from the start and that she thought she would be a starter. But if you recall, DB started the season and wasn't playing her best, so Lexi Hall took her place. Then she had the gall to release a statement expressing gratitude to the Indiana Fever as though she's some kind of professional handling the situation with poise. Who does she think she is? This is similar to someone who burns down your house and then thanks you for the games. You don't get to leave your team and your teammates hanging and then act like you're taking the high road. However, the irony in all of this is that the Fever are actually better off without her because they have replaced her with someone who genuinely wants to be there and couldn't handle the pressure of being on a team that matters. I believe the Phoenix Mercury knew this was going to happen because they didn't have the money to pay her. She said, I'm going to get the bag elsewhere, and then I'm going to force my way out to where within the first half of the season before All-Star Alyssa Thomas, I'm going to be on your team. Bonner knew very well that she didn't want to come to Indiana and that she didn't want to be there. When McDonald was shot with a fever earlier this season, she didn't waste any time feeling sorry for herself or complaining about her role. She averaged 11 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals in just 3 games, instantly becoming a fan favorite with her hustle, defense, and contagious energy. I believe she played badly on purpose because she dropped her stock to the point where it's not like we could trade her. Now let's bring in Ari McDonald, the player who is everything Dana Bonner isn't. McDonald's story is the ideal counterpoint to Bonner's pitiful departure. It features a player who was cut by the LA Sparks during training camp, leaving them without a team and with the option to give up. Instead of someone who was merely collecting a paycheck, they could see a player who genuinely wanted to be a part of what the Fever were building. McDonald's gritty defense and high motor style resonated with a fan base that had been searching for players who would fight alongside their superstar rather than resent her success. I'm glad she's back. I knew she was waiting after all those hardship contracts were signed by different players on different teams because I thought, man, look, Ari isn't on a team yet. She's coming back even better. McDonald immediately understood what it meant to play for the Fever during the Caitlin Clark era. She didn't see Clark's success as a threat. Instead, she saw it as a chance to be a part of something special. Although my time with the team was brief, it felt like the place to be right away. Upon her resignation, she compared that to Bonner's statement that the fit did not work out. One player embracing as COO and general manager Amber Cox put it, Ari was a clear fit with the style and mentality we are building here with the Fever from the moment she arrived in Indy. Although she only played a few games, her impact as a playmaker and defender was evident. The key phrase there is the style and mentality we are building, which is exactly what Bonner never understood. The Fever aren't trying to accommodate players who can't handle pressure. They're building a culture of excellence, competitiveness, and resilience regardless. Part of this team, the fans seemed to accept her, but that wasn't enough. The fact that Bonner had no trade value is telling to Ari McDonald, who was so good in her first stint in Indiana and will be a great fit now. I do think that perhaps they couldn't find a way to trade Bonner because, as I mentioned, I didn't see any use for her there, and she still wasn't going to start. So I don't know, man. What about Natasha Howard, the other veteran who joined the Fever with Bonner? How did Howard react to this whole situation?